myself.
Of course. You're the handsome one tonight.
Yeah, it's your time to shine. Surprise.
And yeah.
We are live. I don't. Let me look here.
Uh, I think you do be live. I know that, Dad. Burn
Yeah, 20 seconds.
Yay!
What's up, chat?
What's up? I bet you there's a lot of surprised people that are going, phew, he didn't put it.
Well, I did. It doesn't look like it, but they cut off about 4 inches because this whole bottom part was really thin and.
That's what was done with my hair. It was a good 4.5 inches or so, if not more. And it was just all thin stuff, though.
Yeah, I did say I was cutting my beard. I didn't say I was cutting it off or shaving it off. And they trimmed the sides, and
So you left
he did tell me that I need to keep putting oil on it. He says, "You have a." He said, "Well, the other guy said I look like a majestic wizard."
Well, I said, something along the lines of that. Sorry.
All you need is a staff with a crystal ball in it. With a robe.
Yeah.
I forgot to turn
And
my
you
phone
stand how tall?
Okay, I got this. And the title of this, I have a message for you, which until today, I had no idea what the message was. And I've been trying to decide if I wanted to tell this.
The internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It first started off, I went to Goodwill, and a certain number kept popping up. On the way in, I found $21, a 20 and a dollar, and I picked it up and said, "Yay, $21!" Very carefully put it in my pocket. You can't trust half the stuff, but bought some stuff for dinner. Came up to $21, and didn't think nothing of it until I went to Goodwill. And as I was leaving Goodwill, man caught me before I could leave, and he told me, he says, "You remind me of my son." And okay, and I didn't really think nothing of it. And he started telling me about his son, and his son had a really, really long beard and whatnot, and he had a rough time. And he told me his son's name was Daniel, and he had died 10 years ago, and this was Saturday, the 21st. And he was telling me that he became after his son died, he became a priest over here at the local. Well, he didn't study here. He got transferred here or something. But after his son died, he gave up everything and became a priest. And was telling me that his son, like I said, had a very hard time. And he started turning his life around. Just as he turned his life around is when he died. He didn't tell he didn't tell me how he died or anything like that. And we were sitting there pretty much both in tears, talking. And he says, you remind me of right before he died. He had a long beard and everything. And he said that before he died, he said he had a message for people. And he said that, and he didn't tell me what it was or anything. And he also told me that you also have a message to tell people. And that that really hit me hard. It still hits me hard, and I don't know what it is. And I came home and I was messaging Lake, and then Bigfoot called, and we sat and talked, and I told him everything that was said. And I told him this number 21 keeps coming up and whatnot. And Lake chimes in and says, what was it? Daniel 10, was it?
Yeah, Daniel 10.
And I'm like, Daniel was his son's name. And then, oh boy. The more we sit there talked about it, I was getting goosebumps the whole time. And the more information that read, and I'll let Bigfoot explain that the whole verse and everything with that.
Yeah, Daniel 10:21 is it's in the book of Daniel when Daniel's praying to God about, the things that are going on. He has an angel show up, Michael. And the angel Michael shows up and says, I heard your prayers have been heard, and I come with an answer to your prayers and understanding. But for 21 days, I've been held up by the Prince of Persia. So this angel Michael, he was battling this demon, which he referred to as the Prince of Persia. For 21 days, there was this delay that he had to fight this battle before he could get to Daniel and deliver this message. So we were reading this, and it's like we were trying to see what God was trying to say, whether is it going to be 21 days maybe before you receive the full message, or is it going to be 21 days, possibly a test of 21 days? Because Daniel was going through a tough time then, until that 21 days when he didn't realize that the answer was coming. But in the meantime, there was spiritual warfare to be fought before he could get the revelation of the answer to his prayers. and then when Bushcraft said Daniel and he mentioned 21, it didn't even click with me. My wife, Lake, she's like, wait a minute. And I saw her kind of get like
all my hair stood up, but I felt what I felt, and the feeling was familiar, and I knew to tell him.
Yeah. So.
And this is the 10th month on top of that.
It goes a lot more than that, but a lot of stuff I'm not going to talk about because it's real personal stuff that's happening in my family right now that I can't divulge. But if anybody even knew half of what was going on, it would really freak you out.
Yeah.
And like I said, after talking to, and before I messaged Lake and talked to Bigfoot, I came home and set up the live like I would normally do. And something said I got a message, and that's what I put out. And at that time, I did not know what the message was. And I still don't know if this is the correct message. And it sounds weird for me even to be saying any of this, but there's so much stuff that's happened. And I went and read the whole thing, but I didn't read. I don't want to sound bad or anything, but I read a dummy's version for the Bible.
No.
To where it would make more sense to me, I guess. But from what I gathered is from this, that Daniel's the one that's seen this, but all of his friends didn't see this vision that he's seen, and he didn't understand it, and that's why he was praying. And the thing is, the first day was God seen or received his prayer, but he sent who was it that he sent? Michael. Yeah, he sent Michael, but Michael couldn't go because he had to deal with the other business. And it took him 21 days. And he didn't eat or anything for 21 days when Daniel was praying. And my biggest thing that I got out of that is there are people that give up on prayer and stuff like this. And just imagine if you have something very important that you're praying for and you give up on day 20.
Oof.
If you give up on your prayer, you don't know if day 21, day 18, day 10, is that going to be the day that your prayers are answered? And that's what I got out of it. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know if that's the message I'm supposed to be putting out or what. And like Jeff said, I should be waiting. If I'm not ready to wait, but I had to rush home today just to make sure I said my piece, I guess, my message. And I don't know if it's correct or not, but that's the main thing I got that, and it just came to me today with things that's happened to me in my family today. And it's, you can't give up on that. If one day, and that's really weird because that's my little catchphrase thing that I say on the end of my Bushcrafty talks. I say never give up, and that's never give up your prayer or whatever it is. And that's my whole, that was the message that I had to get out there, I guess.
That's a very profound message, and it's how many people we can all think of somebody right now who's going through something really tough, something that could absolutely break it, and these people have been reaching out, but we also know that there is a spiritual war going on. Like literally, we see the physical manifestations of the spiritual. We see people acting out because of demonic presences, and Michael battling that wicked prince of Persia. That was a demon.
I didn't even know what Persia was either, and then I looked it up. What's Persia? And I was like, oh,
yeah, it's modern day Iran.
Yeah, and I'm like, holy moly.
Yeah, yeah. Modern day Iran, and you look, and I was thinking about this even more because Daniel had visions of the end. He had visions of the end times. And brother, I'll tell you what, you look at the news today, and I'm not saying this it's the end, but I'm just saying it's unfolding. And the birth pangs mentioned by Jesus in Matthew 24, wars, rumors of wars, how much of that is in the headlines right now?
Right. And this still could go on for years and years and years
Yeah.
until it all unfolds.
Yeah.
So
But it's a spirit. There is a battle in the heavenlies right now, and it's a good, important message not to give up, because there are battles being fought that we have no knowledge of right now. So you just have to be patient, and the Bible says to wait on the Lord.
right. And there's battles being fought, but you never know when God's going to call upon you to be there, and that's really, really important, because you could be doing whatever throughout the day and you have a knock on your door, or, a phone call, or, anything could happen, or maybe you'll be at that place and time at that exact moment where you're going to hear something that you need to hear. It may not even be for you, but it might be for somebody else a week later.
Mhm.
There are no coincidences when it comes to God.
Oh no, not after the last 3 days. And the number 10 and 21 is like everything is popping up that. I don't know if it's I'm paying attention to it or it's somebody, God's telling me to wake up.
It's all confirmation at this.
Yeah, I mean, you've shared some things with us that you can't share, out in the public yet, and the repetition of things has just been off the charts.
Right.
It's something else.
Mhm.
But it's also confirmation.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us have had those experiences in our past, of God. There's a specific message he wants us to hear. And some of us are just stubborn as a mule right here, this guy. And we blow through it. And it's like, sometimes you just got to just stop and put me out of the way, and less of me and more of him, and just listen. I was sharing with Bushcraft, my YouTube channels the name is Dig Deeper Ministry, and I can just imagine how frustrated God was with me because there were so many times in my past, I've been to prophetic ministers, I've been to had people praying over me, and every single time the minister would tell me the exact 2 words: dig deeper. And I would a few years later, I would go and be in the presence of someone else who was in the spirit like that, and they would pray, and it got to the point I already knew what they were going to say, but finally, I decided to do something with it after my wife.
You moved
My
here
wife
from
finally
Ohio to the Adirondacks, first of all, so Ohio was another state.
Yeah, my wife, she told me, I think God wants you to dig deeper.
Well, that was after 2 or 3 people told you in churches here about that. But I already knew the story from Ohio where he was told that.
Yeah.
So then one day we were standing between the kitchen and the dining room, and I'm like, I think maybe you're supposed to dig deeper. I mean, I don't know,
But it's those messages like that, and it's all personal. It's personal to you.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
you guys all have that moment when God, God is speaking to you, and sometimes in our own stubborn humanity, we have a hard time just shutting ourselves off long enough to listen. Psalm 16 talks about, him counseling us, him instructing us in the night, in that nighttime when things are shut down and things are quiet. I picture David laying on the rooftop, staring at that night sky, shutting off all the distractions and just listening. And that's when you receive that instruction, and it's hard to do. It's hard. The world has got us conditioned to just go, focus on this distraction.
And that's well, I mentioned it, I think, the other day. Jeff had talked about this. If the people that have the easy life and stuff, and they don't have any turmoils or anything like that, that's the devil working. He doesn't need to be nitpicking at him because he's already got that person. Mm-hmm. It's the person who is going through rough times and people passing and things like that. That's the devil working at it.
Jeff, you're muted, by the way. I didn't know if you were trying to talk at any time this time, but
no, I kind of told Bigfoot in the back room, I think it's the night I'm going to sit back and kind of be a little bit on the quiet side.
You don't need to be.
Speak up.
Well,
I get a lot of inspiration from you too, Jeff, even though you don't think so.
Me too.
Fur enough and
plus
over yonder.
Yeah, plus we say a lot of the same things, so I
bless
need
your pea-picking heart.
well, I need you, Bear, so yeah.
I think it's taken I just want to tell you, I'm proud of you for actually coming forward with this and doing this. You whether you want to admit that or not, you put out this stream, you set it up, and it's scheduled, and you didn't even really know what you were going to talk about yet. Mm-hmm. And you know what that is?
That's God speaking through you.
That's faith. Mm-hmm. You knew there was a message coming.
You did.
Yeah.
That's faith, brother.
And I like I told Jeff, I had no idea what it was until I was talking to him driving down the road. And then after the stuff that happened today, yeah.
Yeah.
Just more and more revelation of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, I kind of look at it like this. Other than God, family first. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Always.
100%. What do you think, Jeff? Have you ever felt like that? Like there's been like occasions where you just think God had a message for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all have been there.
Yeah.
Everybody's been there, but it's up to that person to share the message. That's the way I look at it.
That's the hard thing, though. It's like, why me? It doesn't make sense to me.
Why you? I look at it like this right here. Look how many people are looking at you. Look how many people look at you or will look at you, 5, 7, 10 days after the live tonight. Like, yeah. I forgot exactly who said it. In one form or another, we're all preachers up on here. Plain and simple. Depends on the message that we preach.
Yeah, we all have a ministry. We do.
Yeah.
And Grape James brought up a good point and said, "Why not you?" I challenge you, and this would be a great exercise for you. Go back through the prophets in the Old Testament. Look, you read the beginnings of the book of Isaiah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, Daniel. These guys, they didn't feel like they were worthy either. Like, I'm not worthy to do this. And the Lord would, like, he took a hot coal and put it on the lips of Isaiah to like anoint him. It's like, no, they weren't ready.
Oh, you mean God doesn't call the qualified?
There's no one qualified.
He qualifies the called.
There's no one, exactly. There's no one qualified. Not if it's you and your words that someone is depending on, they're in trouble. It's not you. It's what's behind it. It's God. That's the strength, and that's where it's at. Even the Apostle Paul in the New Testament, he was the worst of the worst. Should he have been considered worthy to write 13 books in the New Testament?
Not in our eyes.
Nope.
Well, see, my opinion is this right here. When a person gets up in that pulpit and he preaches the true word, and I know what I said and I stick by it, but when that man preaches the true word, it ain't him talking. It's God talking through him.
Thanks, What Life.
Yeah. Get behind me, Satan. That comment's one step from needing an exorcist.
Could be worse. It could have beanie weenies in between the spam.
The grape jam's got a really good point there. You might end up in the belly of a big old giant fish.
Oh. Yeah, and I don't know if I was watching something or what, but Jesus was in a room and these official guys were grilling him and telling him he's not who he says he is and this and that. And there's one guy that was standing up defending him. And Jesus went over and whispered something into his ear. Do you know what that is?
I don't know. That was a personal message for him, probably.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've been trying to figure out, and I've been watching a bunch of shows to see if it comes up, so I can. What did he whisper to him?
Yeah.
And then they took Jesus out and was going to toss him over the cliff.
Yeah.
And then he said something, I don't know what it was, but and then he walks off, and then that's.
I remember now.
It's just like that message that he wrote for somebody in the sand.
Exactly.
Never says what it was. He just stooped down and began writing in the sand. What was that message? I'm going to ask him.
It could have been a line for all we know.
We don't know.
Well, what was the message on the board they hung at his crucifixion?
King of the Jews.
Okay. Bushcraft. I don't know if this is something you want to hear. I don't know if it's something I need to say, but for some reason, I got a strong feeling this is going to be one of many messages that you're going to have coming.
Well, I don't know about that.
Just be
I kind of do. I feel it. Like I said, I don't know if you want to hear it.
Well, you ain't got much choice to hear it, I guess.
Not now.
It's been that 21 has been pounded in my head in the last 3 days from every little thing.
Is that 21 days from the first time you heard it?
See, that's what we were trying to think of, and we were adding up 21 days, and it comes out to a certain date that's.
Oh, you mean forward, but let's go back.
Oh no.
We didn't think that.
Yeah, there's another 21 in there, but I can't reveal it right now because stuff that's going on with my my family.
So can I ask you something? And this is a setup, by the way. Do you feel like it was something like internally that you needed to get out, right? It was like you needed to get this out.
This down. You can't.
Not until I started. I talked to the priest, and he was a Catholic priest, and he was telling me the story about his son and stuff. And when he said the word, he actually started crying when he said it. And as soon as he said it, then I started crying right there. And we're sitting here in Goodwill, right toward the front door where we met up, and we're sitting there bawling when he said this. And people were all walking around us, looking at us weird and stuff. And yeah, it was a lot. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, as soon as I came home, I go to set up, and I'm still thinking about this. And still 21 keeps popping up as I'm still, typing this out and then saying the message thing. And I'm like, I had no idea what the message was until an hour ago, hour and a half ago, something like that.
Right. Well, it unfolded, through the days today. And then, yeah, like you said, that's.
And like I said, I was looking what this message would be. And I went and read and read and read. And then I Googled every word that I didn't understand. And then that got me looking more into it more. And I didn't want to come up here and sound like, oh, I'm predicting the future or some weird thing like that or something.
21 days and the Lord shall smite thee.
But like you said,
Yeah.
For personal reasons,
Grape jams, I've been all through it, and 777 and all the numbers 21 has been blasted into my head.
For the things that you can't tell the whole internet. Bigfoot and I know. And there's not a shadow of doubt in my mind. Right? Bless you.
Thanks.
Gesundheit.
Okay.
Hey, Jersey Shore. Nice deep breath for a minute.
Yeah.
James.
Hey, Gigs.
And sorry, I keep looking down at my phone, but I got to keep a look at my phone right now.
You're fine.
Which is very weird for me because most of the time I hide my phone somewhere and I have to go looking for it.
I know that feeling where you feel like, you got to have it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big responsibility, and you want to. Yeah, I know that we've had things go on with like our adult children where, like, sometimes I'll turn my ringer down at night so I can sleep, so I'm not getting texts at 2 a.m. or waking him up, or and I'll turn it down to where I hear it. But there's sometimes that things happen in families or friends, and you turn that volume all the way up no matter what. So it'll wake you up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And I know a lot of you guys in chat, whoever watches this, a lot of you guys are prayer warriors, and I'm sure I'm sure Bushcraft would appreciate
Smile.
you guys keeping him in your prayers.
Not for me, my family. I'll
Family.
put it that way. Yeah.
And for you too.
I was, and that's, I can't remember when I've prayed for myself. I always pray for my kids to be safe and things like that. And sometimes, and oddly enough, yesterday I did pray for myself to figure this out. And that's like the first time, and I can't even remember how long that I actually asked for a prayer for myself. And then it's very odd. I'll put it that way.
Well, you don't have to ask. We're going to pray for you anyway.
No, but there's times where you do need to ask God for yourself, because whether it's for yourself, it, in one way, shape, or form, and another, it could also be for somebody else. Because, like for me,
I actually did earlier, an hour or so ago, so I didn't get out of a vehicle and do something bad.
I was just going to say, with me, I used to pray about my anger. Oh, Lord, please take this, because you know me better than I know myself, and I know myself enough that you need to intervene here, because my anger will get in the way. But I prayed about that a long time ago, and he took that kind of anger away.
Mm-hmm.
But I still have it. He gave it back. But now I know.
Yeah,
I know it now. Pretty cool. Hey, Robert.
but it's always good to be able to talk about stuff like that, and it's just nice knowing you can I'll just have an ear there. I know I appreciate that. There's times I've been a mess. Like it wasn't just a few years ago. I got, and I think God did this on purpose. He let me go. This is what you want to do. You go ahead, and you watch what happens.
Oh boy.
And I got so wrapped up in politics and political garbage, and I was the one blasting stuff all over Facebook and
Which
doing
wasn't
this
like you at all.
and doing this and arguing with fans. And then finally it's like, what am I doing? It's like I'm like blind, oblivious, and I'm just down this rabbit hole, and I've lost direction. And it's
you mean you fell?
I fell, yeah. And it was like he let me go there, but he was gracious enough to pull me out and smack me around, dust me off, and say, straighten up. That's what I needed. That's the way to this day. You know what? Yep, I'll go do my civil duty, and I will go vote. And that is my political statement for the year. I'm done with it. And I'm not going to argue over people that I will never meet in my entire life.
No. That was not one of the...
It is shameful. Absolutely shameful time in my life. Yep. I don't know how I got on that subject, but sorry about that.
Well, it's humble. Sometimes humility can humble a person, right?
Oh, we were talking about needing somebody, and I would go across the street to our neighbor Rich, and I was like, I gotta talk to somebody because I'm a mess, Rich. And he would just listen, and he didn't even say anything, and he probably thought I was wacko because I was wacko. But he would just listen, and then he would just talk, and that's always good to be able to just talk to somebody.
Or he would come from across the street to our driveway and pick you up in the nice Corvette, and y'all would go for a ride. Yeah. That was hilarious.
He'd yell across the street, "Hey, how you doing? I've been thinking about you.
Go for a ride." I'm like, bye. He'd come in, and I'm like, bye. You didn't even have to ask or tell me.
I mean, if your neighbor pulls up in the driveway in this Corvette, you're not going to go get in it.
Yeah,
exactly.
And he is 76.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, I mean, a few years ago, he was younger than that, but still, you know,
It's nice to have somebody just to
to
talk
grab
to.
on to.
And I seen this this video that was trying to explain the whole 21-day thing, and say if and they used 21 again, but they said, say you played the lottery every year, every day for 21 years, and then that last day you decide, I'm done with it, I'm not going to do it anymore, and then you find out the day afterwards that your numbers came up. How would you feel? And that would be the same thing. How would you feel if you're praying for something so hard, and it doesn't have to be for yourself, or it can be for your family or whatever, and then you find out that, oh, Angel came yesterday, but you stopped praying.
People would not want to be around me for a good while.
Yeah. I have.
It's a really good message.
It is. It is. My mom's brother. He was. He. We all grew up in the church, but he fell away hard, and he was the bad apple in town. He would be at the bar, king of the bar, and he would fight everybody in the bar, and he was that guy. He fell way away, and I remember hearing a story that he told, and he would break down in tears telling me this story. Rough, tough. My uncle, this big burly guy, he would just start bawling because he would say, once I got back into the church, I would have these old ladies. They would walk up and they would put their hands on me and they would say, "We've been praying for you for over 20 or 30 years. We've never stopped praying for you." That is powerful stuff. And maybe it takes that long for this to happen.
And now he's out there preaching the word.
And now he's a pastor. Now he's a pastor. I've got pastors all over the family. My mom's side, my dad's side.
Yeah, and that's what. And I can't remember his name, but I want to go over there and talk to him more now. He said he was he's a construction worker, and when his son was having, and the troubles he was having was drugs and alcohol, and as soon as he got away from the drugs and alcohol, that's when he died. And he said he went to church and everything, and that's what he couldn't understand. And that's his father, the priest that I talked to, went into school to become a priest after that, to understand why. And that's when he broke down and was telling me about the message and stuff, and
yeah.
And
the Lord, he'll meet you. He'll meet you where you're at. You don't. First of all, you can't ever get holy enough to be acceptable. We've all fallen short. He's going to meet you. He meets you in your fallenness. So whatever level that is, you're not out of his reach. And I've done construction work my whole life, and this was probably 20 years ago. On a construction site, and at this point in my life, I was going through a messed up, confusing time for me. I grew up in a church, and they had their specific focus, I will say, but I started going to another church, and I got kind of shunned somewhat by the other church because they didn't necessarily believe in the same thing. They both believed in Jesus as their savior, which I didn't understand. So I'm like I feel like a spiritual mutt. I don't really have a home. And I'm praying about this for a long time. I mean, it really had me messed up in my mind. Spiritually, I was a wreck. I knew I needed God, but it's like, which way do I go? I mean, I didn't even know if I was going to the church I was going to was okay. And I prayed about it and prayed about it. And one day I went to work, and I used to always get to work early before anybody. And I pull down into this construction site, and there's this truck driver sitting down there off to the side in some random spot. I don't even know how he got his truck in there to begin with. And I'm walking towards the building, and this truck driver rolls his window down, and he's like, "Hey." So I stop. You got my attention. It's dark out still.
This rusty old thing.
Yeah. He's like, "Hey." I'm like, "Well, yeah." He's like, "Are you a Christian?" This is on a construction site. I was not prepared for this question. So I was like, "Yeah." So I start walking, and the whole time I'm walking toward this truck, I'm like, "Oh, what do you got here, God? This has got to be something good, because this is something I can relate to on a construction site with the truck driver." And I'm walking up to this truck, and he's like, "Yeah, I was just sitting here reading my." And that's another thing I was struggling with is, well, which translation of the Bible is the best for me? Which one?
Yeah.
James, right?
Which I have no problem with that, but
Yeah.
I had a hard time with it. It was the whole conflict between different churches, different translations, and the fangs out and all that. But anyway, I'm walking up to this truck driver, and he's like, "Yeah, I was just sitting here, enjoying this sunrise, and I was reading my blankety blank Bible." He gave me so much details, I laughed, because he like told me specific brand, translation, everything. I didn't, and I okay, God, I got my translation now. I'll check that out. I'm just reading this translation of the Bible about how, you remember how in the New Testament when the disciples, they came running up to Jesus and they said, "There's this other group over there, and they're healing in your name, and they're casting out demons in your name." And we told them to stop, because they're not one of us. And Jesus is like, "Don't stop them, because if they're not against me, they're with me." So just because they didn't do it exactly like the disciples did, it didn't mean that they were doing it wrong. Jesus was still their source. He was still their strength. And I took that to me as confirmation. It was okay that I went to this other church. And it doesn't matter what church you go to. It does. But as long as the true gospel of Jesus is taught and preached, we can't. And that's one thing that's stuck with me to this day. It's you watch people literally fight over this stuff, and then it's like you cancel out all the rest of it by doing that, because that's the gospel is the power of God into salvation, and you're just taking it and trampling it. And everybody who's watching you Christians fight, they're going to be like, "No way. I don't want no part of that. How about I go over here and check out this Quran, see if there's any love in that book for me." And that's how it works. And that's how God works. He comes to you where you're at. You don't have to be holier than thou, or you don't have to be ordained, or you don't have to be nothing. You can be me. You can just be Josh on a construction site, and he will come up there and blow your mind and open your world and change your life. That's God.
Or you could be like a friend of ours who's always said, if we ever needed to tell a story, to tell it. You could be like this man, Ron, okay, who was in New York City streets on his stomach, flat, in his face was on the pavement, and I'll spare you the details of in what. God came to him on that street that dark, rainy night that day and picked him up off the street where he should have been home with his wife and children. He was a drug addict. He was drunk. He was doing everything you could think of and some. And he was close to not being in this world anymore that night. God struck him right there in the street.
Yep.
And today he's
a pastor.
And he also does the celebrate recovery,
Yeah.
the
and
12 steps. So, yeah.
no, Jeff mentioned
He's a bastard.
you mentioned something about, why would he pick me? And Grape Jam said it perfectly. Why would he not? Because the Bible says his strength is made I'm going to paraphrase this and I'm going to butcher this, but his strength is displayed through our weakness. Where we are weak, he is strong. Because if he can do things through wretched, old, filthy, weak-minded me, he can do it through anybody. And
Exactly.
it's not because these hands are strong. It's not because this mind is so sharp. It's not any of that. It's because of him. He's the source of strength. And that's what makes it so powerful.
Yeah.
He takes the weak to confound the strong. And it's powerful. And that's how God does it. And if God gives you a message, then God bless you. God bless you, because he's there with you.
Well, I believe God will give a person a message every day, regardless. Whether you see it or not, that's going to be up to you. And it's going to be like when you finally open your eyes and you do see a message, it's going to knock you on your rear end.
Oh, yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, and after driving home, after talking to him, I bet you if I had a blood pressure, it'd probably been up in the 200 range.
Yeah.
No, but God had that too.
I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And still, whenever I sit there and talk about it, I still feel it.
All right, I gotta share this.
Oh boy.
Okay, this scripture that always the whole Bible amazes me, but it's Jeremiah. It's not quite 21, but it's Jeremiah 20 verse 9. Let me find it here.
You ever hear Josh say, "This is one of my favorites"?
Yeah,
or, this is my favorite. I'm like, they're all your
This has
favorite.
got to be my favorite chapter. It's what you Okay, this is the prophet Jeremiah. And he's so frustrated because he's been humiliated by his family, his friends, his countrymen. He tried to kill him. And Jeremiah is complaining about this. Jeremiah is complaining to God. He's like, I don't even want to be your prophet. I don't even want to do this anymore. This is what he says. This starting with verse 7. It says, "Oh Lord, you have deceived me. You called me as a prophet." He said, "You have deceived me, and I was deceived. You have overcome me and prevailed. I have become a laughing stock all day long. Everyone mocks me. For each time I speak, I cry aloud. I proclaim violence and destruction." That's what God had. That's the message God gave him to bring, was violence and destruction. Babylon is coming. It says, "Because for me, the word of the Lord has resulted in reproach and derision all day long." I get nothing out of this but shame and reproach and derision. And in verse 9, and I love this, it says, "But," and you were talking about this feeling inside, how it's still in there. It says, "But if I say I will not remember him or speak anymore in his name, then in my heart it becomes like a burning fire that is shut up in my bones, and I am weary of holding it in, and I cannot endure it." That's powerful. God puts a message in your heart, and it's just in there. And if it's truly from him, it will feel like a burning ember in there. You got to let it out, because it says it's like fire pent up in your bones.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even know if it was going to make it back here in time for the live. Jeff was asking me, "Did you send me a link?"
I wasn't sure this afternoon. Maybe you'd cancel it.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
Really, really thinking about it, and then
yeah.
I don't think I could have waited any longer. It sounds weird, but I don't think I could have waited another couple days or even tomorrow. I think it just had to be today.
Because it was like a fire pent up in your bones, and we were weary of holding it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bushcraft, you have got 141 people in chat right now. Go ahead and preach it.
You know, and oh, jeez, wow, sorry, I'm just still. Wow.
I get like that all the time with God. It's like, wow.
Well, he's God amazing. Remember that word I used to use a lot?
Yep.
Yeah. Everything
Yeah.
amazing that happens is always God amazing. Yeah.
No, I've not heard that word before.
God amazing?
Yeah.
I made it up a long time ago.
That's why I haven't heard it.
Well, I figured it would have been around by now.
Well, just like cotton picking, you know, I thought that word would have come around and stayed, but
Like
now
cotton
yeah.
picking, rootin' tootin'.
Tootin', cotton picking, yeah. That's what cartoon was
Yosemite
that? Yosemite
Sam.
Sam.
Yeah,
It was, Warner Brothers, you know.
that was my hero coming up, by the way.
I could picture that.
It's kind of an overwhelming feeling at the same time, huh? A little bit like it's like all these emotions, overwhelmingness, excitingness.
Yeah.
And
I'm not the, you know, I can watch. I watched Old Yeller and never cried a bit.
I didn't know
People
that.
know what that movie was, and
it's sad.
the last 3 days, I find myself just bawling for no reason and can't figure out why.
Yeah.
All been there, huh?
Yeah.
Quite a few times.
Yeah.
But you want to know the funny thing about it?
What?
Before 2012, I think I used to have a very black heart. And after that, no, not no more.
So that old heart got pierced, huh?
Big time.
The new heart got put in.
Yep.
It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Well, it ain't but one way that could have happened. And it took that for me to realize it.
Oh, because you trimmed your hair. No. Well, you got the hair
Yeah,
trimmed
it's-
this morning, right? Like before all this stuff.
and I had to wait. I had to make the appointment last week so I can get my beard trimmed.
Which is
And I was
crazy.
like, and there was a couple of days I was like, I'll just do it myself. And then, and he put the hair in the oil in my beard, and it smells like a campfire. So I've been smelling a campfire all day. And he was telling me that I need to put oil in my beard because if you don't, it gets real thin and whatnot.
You know, there's no
Because that's
sign.
what he cut off for the bottom part of it, the thin part, and the which I didn't know you could get split ends in your beard, but you can.
It's hair, so I don't see why not. That's what mine was. I put oil in my hair too, believe it or not, on the ends. It's
I did the same thing with my daughters. She still uses coconut oil for her hair.
Yeah, it's good for it. I have a chi oil too. That smells scrumdiddlyocious. It does. It smells really good.
No, I ain't heard that phrase in a while. Scrumptious.
I spell it so much. It's like stored into my phone as like a word. My phone actually learned the word. Yeah. It did. I'll show you how much. Let's see.
I did trim. I trimmed off about 3 to 4 inches. It doesn't look like it because you guys always see me from this angle. You don't see me.
Delicious.
Yeah, see, he had to trim his beard because he kept getting stuck in the zipper.
It wasn't that long.
I might as well use pine sap. It's all we have around here.
I bet you we could make a pine sap oil.
Well, I see this one guy. He goes and puts these ponytails in his. And Lake even sent me a video of him putting hair ties in his beard. And
Yeah, because it was like
it's way past his crotch, and I'm like, I don't know if I could handle that much hair down there.
Yeah, because like, okay, he would do the thing where here's the beard.
Yeah.
And he would do this.
And he'd pull it way out like this, and I'm like,
I told you like Fairy had a beard.
She looks like your name should be Jebediah.
And where's the other one? And then he would put another one like a couple inches down, so it would make like bubbles all the way down. And it reminded me of like of a Viking or something. I thought it was kind of cool.
Well, he says he is a Viking, but you don't know.
I didn't watch that many videos. Plus, you know, I'd probably get in trouble if I was watching that many videos of this guy.
He pops up all the time on.
I told you he had all these like muscles hanging out, and he was just always in the bathroom mirror with his beard. It's kind of weird.
I told you like Fairy had a beard.
Oh, I forgot to turn that on. I don't know.
It was cool.
Well, actually, now I can actually put it in. Before it was all puffied out on the
Well,
sides.
if you do though, get these kind of
I
hair
know.
ties. Don't get the ones with the metal. So
And
they're
don't
the
use rubber bands.
yeah.
Oh, I'd never get the rubber band out.
No, but these are the ones that don't get stuck and they don't pull. And
She's a ratchet strap.
Remember, I used to have long hair too.
right.
So yeah, I used to put my hair up in a pony, not a bun. I not say anything bad about the people who have buns, but I'm not a bun type of person.
And you can always put coconut oil on these and then wash them in Dawn dish liquid or dial antibacterial. So
You could start a trend, beard buns.
no.
They already have that.
You flip it up over the side, like pin it up on top of your head.
No, but what you can do, you ready for this one? I love how I don't have a deep beard and I'm the one over here demonstrating.
Well, during the thing where we had to put stuff over our face, which does no good if you have a beard.
And then you tuck it
Exactly.
You tuck it in your shirt. So now you have a beard.
It's weird.
Like this, okay? But then you don't really see how long it is because you tuck it in your shirt. And
Well,
I'm not a good person to do this.
That's how I have to eat. I go like this and stick it in there. That way, when I eat, it doesn't go into my food.
Except for it probably tickles your belly. It's weird. It's like you got to talk to the person next to you, and all of a sudden you feel something crawling around down there.
Anybody else a little awkward right now?
It's not awkward at all. It's not awkward.
Cousin that, yeah.
Just a little bit.
awkward. No.
I know. I can't even do this anymore because my hair got cut.
Now, that is cousin it right there.
Yeah.
I have to close my eyes though because I'm not decided that he is.
You're a train wreck.
I'm not a train wreck. I just like making it a little weird sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, gigs.
Yeah. I hate to take the stream back on track, but this just because
The message.
yeah, about a message you think you have from God or that He's trying to show you. You know, don't even take any kind of qualifications into the equation, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what, even a pastor who believes in his mind that he is qualified to go up and preach a message, I think
I'm glad that said 27 months.
Oh boy, that would have been
Thank you, Craig, for being a member for 27 months.
Cousin, momentary heart palpitations.
Boy, you held your breath on that one, didn't you?
I glanced over and seen 21. Well, there he comes.
Thank you, Greg.
My kitty cat jamming over there.
Zed.
Hi, Teresa. Even Teresa's blessing my heart in chat, Jeff.
Oh, Lord.
God is good. It's mysterious, and it can even be sometimes, it can be scary sometimes, but it's exciting. It's not supposed to be scary. We're not supposed to fear that. But, you know, in today's world, sometimes do you ever find yourself questioning, you know, God, is that you? And then like praying, if you know, about that too.
Yeah,
Right.
I did get, you know, thought that I shouldn't say anything about it at all, which I wasn't. Even though I, you know, came home and made a thing, not knowing what today's live was going to be about, and this was Saturday, and that's usually when I set it up. I usually try to set things up 2 days in advance, and then, you know, that's the whole thing. I have a message for you, not knowing what the message was until driving home.
It's like you knew you were going to have it by then, which is so weird because there's no way you could have known.
No,
Absolutely no way you could have known this.
and if
No.
unfortunately I can't tell the whole story, but if you guys would know the whole story, there is more of a message that I want to say but can't.
Maybe someday.
for
Yeah, that's what-
other things, because it is something with my family.
Yeah, and that's another side of it also. You know, a lot of times God's messages aren't, you know, they can be for encouragement or something, even small things, but a lot of times it's something that maybe, you know, Daniel's visions were of things that were apocalyptic. You know, Jeremiah's his visions, Ezekiel's visions, they were of Jerusalem and the temple being burned to the ground by the Babylonians. It's not always a popular message, but I wanted to finish real quick what I was talking about earlier. It's the whole feeling like you're worthy or qualified to speak on something you think you've received from God. I would say if that person, even a pastor, if he considers himself worthy to get up there and preach, I would probably walk out, because none of us are worthy. You know, nobody is qualified. If the Apostle Paul considered himself the worst of the worst. You know, if you think you're worthy, you probably should just keep your mouth shut.
And that's kind of, and I don't, because you know, there are some bad people out there that claim God talked to them, and
Everywhere
there's a lot of that, and most of the time they end up turning very bad and do things to people that are very bad.
Agreed.
Yeah,
But
there's
you
a
know,
lot of those, and I didn't want it. Oh, he's another one of those guys, you know, making things up, and yeah,
people eat it up though, especially if it's these prophecies that they're going to be, you know, benefiting me, and it's going to be something good, and it's going to be great, and they take advantage of that stuff, and it happens all the time. They're the mountaintop preachers who cherry pick, you know, all the blessings out of the Bible, and they forget to tell you about the hard times. And in that first time, that mountaintop seminary that you've been through for the years under this false prophet pastor, first time you get a hard time, you're crashing off that mountaintop, and you're like, what happened? I didn't sign up for this. That's why there's
Well-
people who fall away.
Well, I look at it like this. There's going to be a special place for people like that.
I agree.
Plain simple. You know.
Good night, Rose.
Night, Rose.
Good night, Rose.
Night, Rose.
Night, John Boy.
Night, Aaron.
Okay, I got a challenge for chat. Who can name all of the Waltons? Let's see them. I want to see.
Oh,
I want to see the names in the chat.
Oh, goodness.
I know John.
Grandpa.
Ma, Pop, Grandpa, Grandma, Aaron.
John Boy.
God.
I was going to save him for last.
Paul.
Mary Ellen.
Bob, Billy Bob.
Was there a Mary Ellen?
There
Mary.
was a Billy,
Yeah.
though.
I think her name was Mary Ellen.
Oh,
wasn't it?
Bunky. Don't forget Bunky.
Or Mary Jo.
Yeah.
Mary Ellen or Mary Jo.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Thanks, Fender Joe.
You should have put $21.
Thank you, Benedicts.
Okay, we got Elizabeth. We got John Boy. Sue Ellen. Oh, there's one. There's Esther. I don't know about
Sue
that one.
Ellen. Okay, it wasn't Mary
Yeah,
Ellen.
Sue Ellen. There wasn't no Esther in there. That was Fred Sanford.
Elizabeth, wasn't she the youngest?
Yep.
Oh, Jim Bob. Yeah, Jim Bob sounds familiar.
I knew there was a Bob in there.
Ellen and Bob.
That's a Billy Bob.
Am I making up John Boy? It
No,
was a John Boy, right?
It was the end. It was. I think that one was
Yeah,
always.
That was the writer guy. John
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah.
John Boy, yeah.
No, there wasn't no John Boy in there.
At
there
the
was.
time, they would always say, "And good night, John Boy."
Mr.
Yeah.
Edward. That's a Little House on the Prairie, right?
Yes,
Who?
Mr. Edwards. Yeah, and there was like little Carrie, and there was Mary, and
Yeah, Jason. He was in there.
Well, okay, here's one for chat. What TV? I can't tell you whether. Well, anyway, I'm going to give you two names, and you tell me what it's from. Isaac Malachi, and don't say the Bible. This is television. Isaac and Malachi.
Children of the Corn.
Children of the Corn.
Children of
I
the
hate that
Corn.
movie.
I was going to name my son Malachi.
No,
Malachi's a prophet in the Old Testament.
I understand that.
That is a cool name, though.
It
Malachi,
is,
yeah.
but not.
I didn't tell him about the Children of the Corn, though.
I wish I never
I was
watched.
going through the movies last night, and the original Children of the Corn popped up.
I mean, do you know how many cornfields we have? I wish I never.
I grew up in Southeast Ohio. Don't tell me about corn.
Oh, I
Yeah, I
know.
was going to say.
Oh, yeah. So he takes me out. This is hilarious. One of the places where he used to play football as a kid, they were doing an away game, and you called them
The Children of the Corn.
because their
Yeah.
their football field was in the middle of a cornfield.
Mhm.
But
We play them, too.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
No.
And they're really good.
Be right back.
Okay. Oh, goodness. I don't like that movie.
Okay, so for this portion of the show, we're going to ask Jeff to stand up and do interpretive dance.
nope.
Out. Jeff can stand up and do interpretive dance.
Out.
We'll try to guess what he's trying to say.
Nope.
Okay, I tried, chat.
I don't know what to say at all.
I bet you Watt would have done it.
I'll get up and do the hula.
I'll make you a deal. If I get up and do the monkey dance, you got to eat just a little bit of spam.
No,
Hey,
he's
Jeff.
already done it, and he yelled.
Okay.
Jeff, we really need to keep this on a serious topic.
But no, I want you to do the monkey dance.
Bigfoot can't even get to the dumping of the spam.
Yeah. After I said it, I remembered what had happened.
He was in 3 rooms over, and I could hear him gagging from me. He's like, "What? I can smell that out here.
Yeah.
Get out!" Like he couldn't. And then I tried to chop it up in little pieces and put it in a salad. And
Okay.
He's like, I can't.
That's like taking a demon and just chopping it up into multiple little demons.
Ooh.
Okay. I'll do the dance if you do the dance also.
You know the monkey dance?
I don't think that
I
would
mean,
be good.
You do dance good though.
I don't even dance, and I'll get up and do it. Yeah, there it is.
See
Right
it?
there.
What are you
If I
talking
do that
about?
monkey dance, that means,
Jeff, did you just see him? What he just did though?
yeah.
He dipped down. Will
Oh,
you be
I
able to
can't
get
do
back up?
Well,
The
they're
knees would
a
explode on
good
that
to
one.
do that with the knees. And, yeah, you can leave them.
Okay. I'll go one better. If I do it,
That dip.
the two of y'all has to do it. Bushcraft and Bigfoot.
Well, I
Ow.
can't. I have
No.
There's a
It
wall
don't
back
make
here.
no
But I
difference.
can't go
If I
anywhere.
do it, y'all
I
got
can
to
go
do
like this, and that's about it.
it. Y'all got to stand up.
Yeah,
completely.
I got this trick knee.
No.
Jeff,
So-
if I
You got
stand
two
up,
trick knees and a bad back.
I could probably pull off a pretty mean truffle shuffle.
You did. I've seen it.
Jeff,
Not.
if I stand up, there's only a certain part of me that's going to show up on the camera, and I don't want to do that.
Oh,
And I am wearing pants, so they're shorts. But
well, see, I was going to have to go put mine on to do it. So,
Well, I have a question though. If you were wearing green pants, would they disappear?
they're black.
No, but if you were wearing green pants, would they disappear?
Yeah, you would just see the wall behind me
Okay.
or the bunker.
Okay.
So how about this? How about Jeff,
nope.
Bushcraft, and you all do the dance? Send it all to Bushcraft, and he could put it into a little entourage or whatever they're called. Is it called a mon?
We could do like a trio line dance, and then at certain points we would break off into our individual medleys. Where I would break out into the truffle shuffle. Jeff would do interpretive
I could
dance.
totally edit that.
You could.
Does it has to be a certain length of time that we have to dance?
No.
Let's say like 30 seconds, a minute, or
Seconds is a long time.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It would be a long time for somebody to watch it. I know that.
Especially for an
You should
old
leave
person.
it as short as possible. That way
It
people
would
don't
be
have
like,
to
no, turn
watch it.
CNN back on.
Great, Jim. I will pay money to watch that.
3
A
minutes. What?
montage.
Well, a minute.
A montage.
Just compile you through.
Grape Jam said she will pay money to watch that.
Well, what would be like the best song to have going in the background of this?
Something that,
ACDC.
Something
yeah,
that's
that's
good.
probably one of the worst.
Yeah.
That and Metallica is the one that gets you hit the most.
It would have
on
to be
YouTube.
YouTube friendly. So there's a lot of free.
Hey,
free-
ZZ Top, short dressed man.
No, that gets it too.
Yeah.
Anything like that would get it.
Well, Bigfoot should.
Yeah,
be-
actually, that is true because Peanut got hit for. Remember when he used to do those things where you've been nut tagged?
Yeah.
When I got he did ZZ Top on me and got hit for it.
Yep.
You know what we could do?
Vineyard Chicks.
We could have Vineyard Chicks. We could have the Vineyard Chicks actually record the music.
Oh yeah.
I would probably Bigfoot should dance to Monster Mash. That would make sense. Jeff, you pick one. You want Sharp Dress Man?
Go for it.
What do you want, Bushcraft?
Oh, I don't know.
Putting in their orders, girls. They're putting in their orders. You want coffee?
Grape Jams, I hope you taking notes here.
If I have to watch one more truffle shuffle,
I need some coffee. It's getting real.
I'll tell you though. He says he can't dance, but he can dance. He just doesn't do it.
I'll
Except-
have. I don't know exactly how to record on mine, but I'm sure since I said that, somebody's gonna tell me how to do
I will tell Dixie how to do it.
it. Yeah. I say when I started this, I could do it. You know, I done a little bit, but now since I ain't done it in a long time, duh.
You gotta do it about once a week. That way you don't get
I
rusty.
am not dancing once a week. Let's
You
put
know,
it.
Wow.
I think this could be fun and cute and funny.
Vet prep, yeah, definitely do. I've been there a bunch of times.
Great Jams. Mine will be Short Dressed Man by ZZ Top.
Oh, yeah, watermelon crawl. That's a good one too.
I don't know where that is.
Yeah, I know where to.
That's going to be Watt's song.
Right, I'm like,
Would do electric slide, but I found out what it was about.
do. Yeah, I shared that one day. I shared that one day in Signal, and I'm like,
You saw that video too, huh? I had to go back and listen to that song.
Yeah, I played it for 101, and he's like,
I played it for my
you don't
daughter.
know until you know.
Yeah,
You know who we need to really get as part of this dance competition?
it won't happen.
Peanut.
Oh,
Oh,
It doesn't show me.
he won't do that.
He could do it from like the neck down.
The peanut dance.
We
Yeah.
need to get him a peanut head. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
a head.
oh, wait a minute. Grace Johnson wants
Pussycat
something.
dolls.
Yeah. I've heard the name of the group, but I couldn't tell you not one blooming song.
I
That's
think
like
I've heard of
Salt-
one, but I
like,
can't remember it
group
right off.
Salt and Pepper.
The YMCA.
No.
No.
You've mentioned it before, I think.
I mean, Ohio.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Ohio is the only state that is round on both ends and high in the middle.
That's so weird.
Okay.
That joke right there is about as high old as the rooster laying the egg on a picket roof.
A rooster laying an egg?
Hi,
Yeah.
Carson.
Which side would it roll?
Roosters don't lay eggs.
Oh, I know.
That's my joke.
And this one's probably safe. And it's just for Bunky. The one I always request Bunky to sing.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be your song? So you're going to do a little itty bitty?
No, he
No.
repeats the same song every time. I forget what it is, but I know.
Little House on the Prairie song. What's his name? Old Dan Tucker.
Oh, Dan Tucker. Yep.
Yeah, Mr. Edwards song.
That's what you're going to dance to?
Yeah,
Sweet.
I can get up there and.
Okay, if you're going to do that, then let's go Orange Blossom Special for me.
You're going to do what?
Orange Blossom
Oh.
Special
Orange
And-
blossoms.
And I shared
by Charlie
a
Daniels.
channel today of this little boy
The
that
band,
has been playing a banjo for less than a year.
he's
and
really good.
He gets invited to all these old people and they're playing bluegrass music, and he's just going ding 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 and strumming.
Yeah.
And
The
I
boy's
was like,
good.
wow.
All right, guys. The lady's gone. What kind of mischief can we get into?
Just remember, you got to live with yours. Mine's in yonder.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I forgot
He's
about
probably
that.
related to Jeff.
Probably. No, he was further south than what my people were.
Oh,
Broken Hearts Ministry. Why
Oh,
does
that's-
that ring a bell?
that's Gail.
Yeah, well, yeah, she's got Gail in parentheses at the end of it.
Oh, well, she didn't have before. I don't think she did.
Well, I can probably, safe to say, since her name is Gail, she's a female.
I don't know.
And nothing I know of.
I don't think he ever has showed his face.
Carson, which one's a great
Not live.
choice?
We talk to Peanut all the time, and we've never seen his face.
Oh, Lordy.
Is he tap dancing?
Maybe he's warming up.
Yeah.
What?
Were you just doing like the riverboat dancing?
I don't know. Yeah, my hands cannot be still, or my feet. My wife will grab. I'll be sitting here watching TV, you know, doing stuff like that. She'll reach over there and grab my hands and tell me, "Please be quiet," or my foot. I always sit with my legs crossed. Okay, I'll be watching TV. And you'll be hearing that right there. It don't bother me.
Broken Hearts Ministry. I just want to say, Gail, that channel name's phenomenal. I love that. That is very, very profound name. There's a lot of meaning there.
Yeah. She does a lot of helping of homeless and whatnot.
Here's your cup of mischief.
Broken Hearts Ministry. Didn't you come to the house a couple of times?
Your house?
Yeah. Where's she at? What state is she in?
Texas.
Probably confusion.
No, she didn't come to my house then. There is a pastor. Well, there's a couple of them. But there is a pastor who come to my house a while back ago. I'm not going to say why or nothing like that, but she subscribed to my channel. And I think if she's not working, she comes up to where I'm at. And the bad thing about it is I don't acknowledge her because I'm not familiar with the name until after everything's over and done with. All right, I'll tell you, she sold me some life insurance.
Just so we all
Dixie
don't
says,
forget.
Yeah.
well, Dixie said the way my mouth's been going here lately, I'm really needing some.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, speaking of that, Bushcraft, there's a very special performance tonight right after your stream.
Yeah.
And
Vineyard
just,
Fix
so none of us,
will be live.
and just so none of us forget, again,
Tomorrow night.
tomorrow night, don't forget 101 will be
Oh,
live.
he bought another tool.
Today we talk about 24.5 volt DC tools.
They're called rigid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I showed him my drills. My hand-me-downs from you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got sure.
He got jealous.
Yeah, he did.
You got what?
He got
He got
jealous.
jealous.
Oh no.
Name brand jealous.
Oh, the DeWalt's.
Yeah.
He was in here earlier.
America, great again.
Uh,
Thank you, Pilgrim.
thanks, program, for subscribing.
What?
So Gail says, my mom named the ministry. Chat went. My mom named the ministry after our homeless ministry in Texas. That is amazing.
Hot dog.
That is amazing.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna keep it ZZ Top then. I cannot see Vineyard Chicks doing what was that? I said Orange Blossom Special by Charlie Daniels. Orange Blossom Special by Charlie Daniels.
Why not?
They could do Sharp Dressed Man pretty good though.
They've
No,
done some-
before
they've
y'all
done,
ask that question, go watch the video first, and you'll see.
well, they've done some stuff that, well, what's that song? And it's a challenging song. Well, even the Skillet one, Salvation, that I requested, and I sometimes the ones I do are a little bit harder, but they step up to the challenge and they do it, and they actually do. They did really good on that song.
If you're gonna start that in chat, I'll go in and I'll hide you. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening there. It's
That's first and last, and I don't give a flip.
they've covered a lot of good songs. A lot of good songs.
They have, yeah. Great Jams. It is not. I mean, it's a good song. It's a good video. Don't get me wrong. I would let my youngins watch it, but you'll understand. And he does it with a fiddle.
Yeah, and Stacy, if you're watching, I did forward the song request over to the Vineyard Chicks, because I got, well, you have people that only watch on the TV too, and they emailed me that because they followed me from my channel over to the Vineyard Chicks, and they wanted to hear a song, so I just they requested it and I forwarded it over to them.
Yeah, if you guys haven't, like right directly after Bushcraft, he'll send everybody over there to the Vineyard Chicks. They do live music that the girls perform. They're really good, and it's a fun time over there. They take requests at the end of their set list, so go over there and check them out and give them a subscribe. You will really enjoy not just the music that they do. They have a phenomenal homestead.
Oh, cool. And I went and listened to that song. That's a really good song too. I won't say what it is so everybody can get surprised by it.
I'm gonna tell you like this. If I'm in there watching Dixie's TV, when Vineyard Chicks comes on, I don't care what I'm watching. She's gonna turn it. And then she's gonna give me that look. Touch the remote, and you'll wake up in the hospital.
I dare you.
Yeah, exactly. That's one of them looks you don't want to cross. And any married man knows that look.
I can't speak to that at the moment.
Okay.
If the Vineyard Chicks are going to put time in to do these songs, you three better do these dances.
Yeah.
What's that Phil Collins song, Genesis?
Which
I
one?
Can't.
Do that one. That'd be fun.
Amazing Grace that she did, or they did.
Yeah,
and I thought it was just going to be the two of them, and here comes Bunky sliding in there.
What is his name? I'm gonna have to kill the TV and go and find it.
They cover a Mean Monster Mash too.
There is a singer, and he is a hard rock singer. Okay, he does here we go. He does an amazing version of Amazing Grace. I'll have to spell his last name, but his name is Dan, VANYE, SC.
Yeah, I've seen it. He's pretty good.
Have you?
It's
I
like
mean,
it's like a heavy metal version of Amazing Grace.
in a matter of speaking, yeah.
Hey, waking up country.
I mean, to look at him, you would not think he sang songs like that.
Hey, look, it's Bubba News. That's another good channel. If you guys aren't subscribed to Bubba,
What's up,
Hey,
Bubba?
brother.
if you guys like breaking news from Israel and Bible prophecy, that's your guy right there, Bubba News.
Yes, it is.
That is my brother.
When Bigfoot, when you and Bubba News gets on the telephone and talk, how long is y'all's shortest time of talking? A couple hours?
Sometimes they go that long. Sometimes we just talk when we have time. But yeah, it's like you kind of feed off one another. Like he'll have scripture that pops out to him, and he'll talk about that, and then usually I got something that ties in with it, or vice versa, and it's good to be able to do that.
Well, what y'all need to do is set up a stream, just the two of y'all, and see how long y'all can go. See if y'all can break YouTube record.
I can't. Like I've been here an hour and 36 minutes, and I'm already squirming.
Because I know there's been some records that has been broken from start to finish.
Yeah, I have no interest in that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it was last week, or the week before, we kind of went over a little bit, and then I could hear in the background Dixie had the Vineyard Chicks playing in the background. We're like, oops, we went too long.
And you'll probably hear it again tonight too, because look, I'll be sitting in there watching TV, and that TV goes up to 100. Okay, me, if it's really, really quiet, I'm talking like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, I can sit there and listen to it on about 20. Okay, but as day starts breaking, I think I have to crank it up to about 30 or 40. When the Vineyard Chicks comes on, she'll crank it up to where she can hear it. And then after your stream is over and done with, when their stream is over and done with, hold it, I had it right the first time. If we go over on your stream, Bushcraft, and after we get off, the volume goes even louder. And she's probably sitting in there just grinning. The woman has got some of the best hearing of any person I've ever seen. And I used to call her, excuse me, I apologize for this.
You need to think about this.
I used to call her the wife from hell.
You need to be careful, Jeff.
No, she knows it. Okay. That woman can remember when you dropped a needle on the floor, tell you the date, day, year, and time, right down to the second that you dropped that needle.
It's funny though, because typically they remember the bad stuff even more clearly.
Well, a couple of years ago, I finally smartened up and realized it's safer just to go ahead and tell her the truth, even though she don't want to hear it.
There's 4 words a man's got to learn real quick and to have a long-lasting marriage.
Yes, dear, is one of them.
Yeah, or you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, dear, you're right.
Yep.
Bubba knows you.
Okay.
You've been married a while too, huh?
Code wife. She's back.
I was in chat and I can still hear you.
Oh, hi. We want to talk about your nephew.
But we don't ever fight except for that one time with a cat. I brought more home that I'm allergic to. And the fight was him not talking to me for 2 hours. The end.
I haven't heard
Yeah,
that.
if she was on the other foot, I would have called that a blessing.
Let's just check, Bubba. I was wrong. Please forgive me.
And that other time that I didn't want to bring the dog home after what happened here, and you and Allie ganged up on me, and they're like, "This is her home. It's not her fault. Why wouldn't you want her to come home?" Yeah, I was wrong. Did you hear that?
Where's that calendar?
It was like that.
Go to circle that one.
Those were if you want to call them like any kind of anything, those were the two things that we've ever had in our whole time together of 11 years.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
this morning, I'm not gonna. This morning, I woke up, and yes, I was talking in my sleep. Again, the wife even reached over there and smacked me and told me to shut up. I dreamt a Chevrolet S10 pickup truck had one of the biggest dead burn pizzas on the back of it. It hung over about 3 foot on each side. And in my dream, I'm sitting there making fun of it. But anyway, we end up waking up and we come in here to where I'm at right now. And I'm talking about 3 a.m. in the morning, okay? To begin with, even in my home, I don't go to the bathroom unless my little friend's with me, okay?
His friend.
Yeah. And we heard something on the porch this morning. It wasn't a cat and it wasn't a dog. And I told the wife, I said, look, if that door flies open, I said, you run to the bedroom, you dial 911. Plain and simple. And I could have swore up and down. We both could have swore up and down. Somebody tried to open up the screen door. Now, I keep the screen door locked.
Harvest Mary Moon's got a point.
It's a big deal.
No, because I would have smelt him first. I unholstered it, okay, and took the safety off. And I started right there to tell the wife to go on to the bedroom. But I got the bright idea. I turned the porch light on.
Mm-hmm.
And before I could stand up, get turned around and looked out the window, I heard another noise. And my ramp, which I built a ramp for my daddy because he was wheelchair bound. There's a part in there that dips down and you can hear it. There's no mistaking what it is. And if y'all will watch the news or something like that, from that time till about 5 a.m. is when shit really happens. Something like that.
You see, Davey.
Let's see.
I wonder who and what it was.
I'm gonna go ahead and drop Vineyard Chick's link here.
I can grab it if you want.
Yeah, for some reason it only copied the back end of the.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lake will do it.
I got it.
Okay. And I want everybody to head on over there and listen to some good music, and they do giveaways too. On top of it, if you can figure out the songs that they're singing or playing.
Vineyard Chick's coming on.
Sometimes you get to see a projectile drumstick just flying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. I'd
She
like
needs
to
to put
see
some
you do that.
Velcro on that.
Dropping one.
I can't play drums.
I know.
My son-in-law can play drums.
I can play air drums to that In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. Like everybody can do that.
I love that song. I listened to that song today. This morning in the porch.
Grape Jams. Can we have Trey do the In the Air Tonight drum solo?
Oh,
That's a special request.
Okay, we're doing
I
special.
don't know. Does she have well,
I want to hear Short Dressed Man.
double pedals? Well, it's not double pedal. It's I can't remember the name of them. It's when you push down, it hits, and then you pull it back up, and it has another one that hits.
It's not like a double bass.
Yeah. I forget what they're called.
And I got a brother that lives in Georgia. He could play a mean tenor sax.
bring your own marshmallow.
She will do it next week.
Pat Evans says, bring your own marshmallows.
Yeah, and before we go again, I want, and you can take it either way, I guess. The message is, if you're praying for something or praying for someone, never give up on the prayer.
Exactly.
Because day 21, it could take 21 days, it could take years, but it could be answered that one day. And how would you feel if you knew all you had to do is pray that one extra day?
Yep.
Amen.
I think it would be appropriate for Bigfoot to
I
pray.
have a praise report before we end. You mind?
The what?
Instead of doing it on our channel?
Yeah, let's do it. This is good news.
Okay, so you know how Bigfoot and I have been praying, and
We all have.
and then you guys have all been praying, and many people have mentioned it on other channels. And I personally, a couple weeks ago, mentioned something that was unlike me. And you actually picked me up and said, we're not going to give up. We're not going to do this. And I didn't really give up. I just got, kind of thinking. And well, I went on and started messaging some people somewhere, just kind of hoping and thinking. And I have a lot of hope and faith, right? So you'll never guess who I heard from today. And
it's been months.
And I could not wait to tell Bigfoot. And he wouldn't come in. I was like waiting and waiting and waiting for him to come in. And I just blurst it right out and show him my phone. Guess who we heard from today?
Who?
Nate Dampier.
Oh, that's great.
It's been months.
Yeah,
And
it has.
he says he's fine, but he's dropped some pounds. I'll just leave it at that. And since late July. So
he's been going through a lot.
Yeah.
right. So
Sounds like.
I just said, oh my goodness, Nate. Oh, we've been praying for you, and I'm so happy to hear from you. And I'm jumping to go tell Josh now. And much love. So, and he left me a smiley face after that. But yeah, that was in July 16th. I said, we miss you, Nate. Let us know if you're okay. So from July till now, he just got back to us when he was able.
Mm-hmm.
I had almost forgot.
I'll say people don't understand that we get used to seeing people, the people up here and stuff. We get used to seeing you guys in chat, and we notice when you're not there.
Yeah.
And it's to people who don't know this or know how it is, it may seem weird, but it's a fact that we will miss somebody that's not there, that, you know, just says a kind word or a thumbs up or whatever. You miss that all of a sudden, and then you start, if you don't see them, you start worrying about them.
Yeah. Well, you know, we didn't see William H. for months and months and months either.
It was a long time. My good friend William H. And it's like we never, like all of us, we just never stopped praying because we didn't know, hadn't heard anything. And one day he emailed me back, brother Bigfoot, I've been in the hospital and I appreciate everybody's prayers and they help so much. And I think he said he'd been in the hospital for 21 months. No, I'm just kidding. But it's that same thing. You can't, the Bible says the fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. So keep praying. Keep praying.
Yes.
You
Never give up, like Bushcraft said, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Good stuff. And I like what you said there, Bushcraft, about a lot of times the people in chat, they see the people on the screen, but being in the chat, you're just as much a part. We consider all you guys friends. I mean, you guys are, and when you're not there, we definitely know, and you're missed when you're not there.
Well, you're heartfelt. Everyone's heartfelt. Like, like when, Susie D has a headache. There's people in chat who ask her how she's feeling today, or something's going on with Rose Young or Grace Johnson
or Sue.
And you all talk. And when we're on panel, we don't always see what's going on in chat from one stream to the next, but everyone's always talking in chat and they're praying for each other.
That's what's so cool. It's like a community that just lifts each other up.
Yeah. Or from video to video, you got what I love my comments when people are talking with one another and having a conversation back and forth. And I'm reading it as if I shouldn't be or something.
It's like reading someone's diary.
And I get to crying with happy tears or sad tears sometimes.
Yeah, that's why on Bushcrafty, sometimes I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'll go back and watch the comments, and they're having conversations there, and I've heard some really good stories and some sad stories, and you remember all those things.
Yeah.
Bubba News, I agree with you, and I'll say this right here. I say the chats that I'm in, we got a darn good community. I do believe everybody deep down really cares for one another. And like y'all said, for example, if I'm not in chat to begin with, they start asking, where am I at? It's like, y'all, when somebody's not in here, they ask about it. Have you heard? We just have a good community. Plain simple.
The biggest conspiracy that I'm hearing right now in this community of all of our friends here, I mean, there's whispers in there, and I can hear it. I can feel this brewing, that there's this conspiracy and a posse almost that's rounding up, and they're ready to take down Grape Jams from her trivia throne.
What is wrong?
That's just what I heard.
What is wrong with you? Oh, how does it feel to be on the other end of that phrase? What is wrong with you? That's usually something he asks me. I think you should have the last TikTok.
Oh, thanks.
Go great with coffee. No.
Grape Jams is, she's good when it comes to the trivia. If anybody takes her down, I don't think it'll be for long.
I messed up.
I think it'd be one of the little ones, the little Grape Jams.
Little Grape.
And from what I understand, Bunky may be dead on her heels.
Yeah, when you're trying to describe Grape Jams and Bible trivia, there's one phrase that pops out to me, And then if you guys in the chat have any clue what I'm talking about, please let me know. That way I don't feel like I'm crazy. When someone is describing grape jams when it comes to trivia, they describe her as a combination of Fergie and Jesus.
Did you just quote Step Brothers?
Shh.
Oh.
Just for the chat. Where did that come from?
I'm so sorry. I wasn't paying attention as usual.
I have no idea.
Jeff still has no idea.
You're missing out. That's such a good movie.
Hey, we need to go ahead and start wrapping this up. It's about 11:58, 11:57. something.
What?
It's 11:55.
Yeah.
Yeah, be charming.
The movie
Big-
Step Brothers.
You do know she knows how to use a frying pan almost as good as my wife does.
That.
Well, let's go get our party clothes and our dance shoes on for the concert at 9.
I got my dress shoes on. I'm sitting on them.
I don't know about you, but I'm gonna go sit there on that couch and with my pillow and my blanket.
Okay.
Well, see, I ain't got no computer in my room, so I'll have to sit in here and type for a little while.
You have to get the voice to text going again.
Well, it's like this. Okay, I'm a smoker. I do not smoke in the bedroom, and the only place I smoke is where I'm sitting right now, and maybe 2 or 3 in the living room. Other than that, I'm outside.
Well, I can always tell when Jeff is on that because instead of grape jams, it's great jams.
That ain't my problem. My problem.
I know what it is too, and I said, "Well, Jeff's on his phone, and that they don't understand him."
Right.
Or like lake. Instead of saying lake, it says like.
Or jams of greatness. She is. Jams of.
You know what? I may start that. That's going to be the word for tonight. Go to Vineyard and say jams of greatness.
Jams of greatness with a Z.
Yeah. Hey, Bubba knows I tried smoking in the shower one time. It didn't work.
Why?
Bubba, is that from Proverbs?
All right, I gotta go give Danny her medicine.
Yeah, we got to go prepare.
Staring at the wall again. That's really weird.
That is
I want
strange.
to thank everybody for hanging out tonight, and we will be back. Oh wait, 101's live tomorrow, isn't he?
Yes, tomorrow night at 9.
Yeah, and then
It usually is.
Jeff will be on Wednesday. That's if
Yeah.
101 doesn't postpone until Friday.
Right. He's the host live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we will see you guys all over at
Great.
Vineyard Chicks.
Ow.
Out.
And I just about said, y'all have a good night. Dang it. Jeff is rubbing off on me.
You're still alive.